Hey everybody, it's Jenny Lee and Angie here from the Nourish Your True Self team. For anybody who's just tuning in for the first time, I'm Jenny Lee, the social work half of the duo, and I'm here with my friend and colleague Angie, the registered dietitian half. And this week, we've decided we want to talk to you about a video that stumbled into our path online called Fatattitude. And it's actually being put on by the Virtual Film Festival online by a group of people, I guess, called Women Make Movies. And I don't actually know a lot about them, but Angie and I decided that we needed to talk about this movie and encourage you to potentially check it out because it's free online until May 31st, and you can find the link on our Facebook page and also on our Instagram page. And so I guess I just want to start out with the disclaimer that I haven't even got to watch the full thing yet, and my mind is blown. And the second disclaimer is Angie and I are super passionate about the topics that are talked about in Fatattitude today. So there is a disclaimer that the F-bomb might get dropped in this week's video. Yeah, Angie. So Angie, like, what are your first reactions from Fatattitude? Because you've actually got to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, so I was in tears by the end of it, to be quite honest. I love this movie. This movie, they've done a really good job. The filmmakers have done a really good job capturing all of the really important people in this movement of we are actually doing more harm than good when we talk about overweight and obese in the way that we do. Excuse me. And really spelling it out in a way that I think will be new for a lot of people. So the first little bit really talks about how we're socialized as children. And by the time you're in preschool, you already know that fat is bad and you make fun of fat people and you're terrified of being fat.
Angie,
what?
I could not believe, I put on our Facebook post, if you watch the first 3 minutes, you have not wasted your time and you will likely be sucked in, because I'm almost ashamed to say, I didn't realize how much fat shaming was shoved in our faces, even as children. And they showed us different cartoons and various movies and ideals and commercials that really put it in perspective about what we're taught, even by the age of 3, they said. Yeah. And I can say personally, I noticed in movies, I come from a biracial family, and I noticed in television that there wasn't a lot of mixed race families, and that was strange to me. But it was so interesting to be challenged to say, I never saw big-bodied, fat people in shows unless they were bullies or obnoxious or always intoxicated, ogres, monstrous.
Goofballs. Stupid idiot goofballs. Like, you didn't get anybody who lived in a big body that was the main character, that had their own life, that had their own stuff. They were supporting, and they were idiots or had a drinking problem, or right, like it was all negative stuff. So when we have these beliefs and we see a big fat person at McDonald's and think, oh my God, they shouldn't be eating Big Macs, it never occurs to us to look at the skinny person beside them also eating a Big Mac, and that we're not saying the same thing. So just noticing that we do that is a really important piece to shifting our mindset around weight isn't bad. We've made it bad, and it's not bad.
Right.
And then that messes up our whole idea of what food is and what health is. And it came from, cartoons that we've all seen. The commercials and the cartoons that you're talking about in this video, they're not obscure, bizarre things you've never seen. They're things
you will recognize all of them.
Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. And it just, like, it makes me gag a little bit. One of the speakers says, in the new Scooby-Doo movie,
God, this part,
the curse. Oh, didn't it? The curse that this young, is it Daphne? She's the cute hot one. Her curse is that she's fat, and this person cursed her. And the mom is like, so I'm supposed to show my children that the curse is you look like me?
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'm not interested.
Thanks,
and more
Scooby-Doo.
of us need to know that and say, I reject that. I'm not interested in showing my children that. I'm not interested in watching that shit. And I'm interested in telling people that is BS.
Yeah, and I'm not interested in absorbing it myself anymore. And the one thing that I loved about this video, Angie, is to truly identify that there's some radical thinking in it, right? Like it's asking us to think about things that we've in ways that we've never thought about them before, to challenge values and norms that we've been like, I'm 37, 38, and I've been taught for 38 years about body sizes and what's healthy and what's not. And the other thing I love about this video is that although it's radical, it actually plugs a lot of the things that you and I are passionate about in the Nourish Your True Self. And it kind of explains to people why weight loss is not our primary concern when you come to us. We don't set goals around that. And here's some reasons why. You might notice body fluctuations and changes when you work with us, but that's not because we've set a goal for that to happen. But that's by virtue of changing some of these values that have been instilled in us from the cartoons we watched when we were 3.
Yeah. It's when you're swimming in it and you're immersed in it, you can't see the water. When it's shown to you, it's really hard to swim against it, but it's a really important thing that we've got to do.
Yeah.
And I agree. We don't have a scale. We don't set goals like that. But if your relationship with food is such that you restrict and you starve yourself because you think you're being good, and then you binge, well, once you start having a normal relationship with food, it is going to have an impact on your weight and your health. But if we're focusing on health and habits versus just weight loss for the sake of weight loss, we actually get to health. Because the cycling that happens with loss and gain and loss and gain and loss is gain, we all know that that's not healthy. All the studies show that. And that still is what we're given as the solution. And that pisses me off.
Yeah. And that's why I love the work that we do. And so if you're curious, you can likely see that Angie and I are super passionate about not only the work that we do, but that we've been given the opportunity to share this free video with you for a few more days. So check it out on our Facebook page. The link is there. Same with on our Instagram page. Both are titled Nourish Your True Self. If you have trouble finding those links, send us a message, get a hold of us in any way, and we will forward it to you. And we're really just kind of excited to hear your feedback about it and see what you think. Right, Angie?
I mean, I've watched movies for 90 minutes and got nothing out of it, right? This is worth your time, 100% worth your time, and starts the conversation.
Absolutely. And so a little longer than usual this week, but thanks for tuning in, guys, and we can't wait to see you next time. Peace and love.